I want to make a video to help you understand why you suck at making ads and how you can stop sucking at making ads by just following what I'm about to show you in this video. And so I want to share my screen here so this can really hit home, but there's two definitions that we need to define here before we actually have this conversation, which is number one, concept. Okay, this is the big idea behind what you're testing. And again, this is where most of you guys focus. You focus on testing formats, testing iterations, testing awareness levels, testing angles. Now we're getting somewhere. But my point is that if you're just thinking about these things here and you're not thinking and putting a lot of intent into how you choose to sell the product, and you don't think about the most important thing, like I know this sounds crazy, but if you don't think about the most important thing, which is the angle, you are going to continue to suck at making ads. And this is why the average marketer sucks. They suck because they don't understand that like it's not about them. Absolutely nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the customer. And again, there's posts out there, and this is a post that I'm going to pull up. And I just want to be clear, like, I have no beef with this guy, okay? This is actually it's a value post. He was giving a lot of examples. He was talking about different types of ads and all that kind of stuff. But here he's saying, what are the most common ad creative angles? And if you're using my definition, which he obviously isn't, but in this instance, like these are not ad angles. Us versus them comparison ads are not angles, at least if you ask me, okay? Because the angle, like the actual deeper angle that we're trying to get at here. So for example, us versus them, I would define that as a concept because this is just an idea. Hey, let's test us versus them, okay? Now there is some kind of assumed broader angle, like very broad angle, like, hey, let's do a comparison ad. But again, comparing what? Like the what is so much more important than us versus them, okay? You can make an us versus them ad and it can completely flop. And then in our instance, we've made us versus them ads that literally spend $20,000 a day. What is the difference? Well, it's obviously not us versus them. It's the what. It's what is in the ad. It's what are we comparing it to? What are we actually even comparing from our product, right? What are we saying? How are we saying it? The what is what matters most. And I could honestly just pause this video here because genuinely, like if you understand this, all of a sudden just becomes so much easier to make better ads because you're actually thinking what is in it for the customer, right? Here's another one, before and after, right? Again, this is a concept. We're assuming there's some kind of broader transformation angle, but a transformation of what? The what is the most important thing. Problem aware, right? Another concept. Well, we're going to test problem aware ads. What problem are we talking about? And again, I know a lot of you guys might be saying, well, like obviously I'm going to identify a problem, but you're thinking about the concept first rather than the angle first. And now it's okay if you do see a concept that you like, but now as a result of watching this video, hopefully you're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to do us versus them, but what am I going to make that about? And then if you really look at it and think like, well, what am I going to compare here? And like nothing makes sense, then you shouldn't do the concept because the angle is more important than the concept because the angle is the reason why the person buys, okay? Again, here's another one that's like Post-it notes, right? Or AI podcast ads. I could go on and on and on about this stuff, okay? But the big thing that you need to understand here is like concepts, the way that I see it are again, much more internal. They're our big idea of what we want to test. But marketing is not about what you want to do. It's not about what you want, okay? And it's not even about what I want. Like people ask me all the time, side note, like, hey, what do you think of this ad, Spencer? It's like, well, it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what your customer thinks. That's who you should be asking for feedback from, right? I'll say, did the ad get any spend? Did it get purchases? They're like, no. I was like, well, then I think it sucks because it does, all right? So again, concept is like what we want. Angles, how we choose to sell the product are much more focused on the customer, okay? I even like using the definition sometimes of like how you choose to communicate the product, right? Like how are you actually communicating this to the person? That is the angle, okay? Now, I know like I literally should be in bed right now, but I just turned on the camera because I wanted to talk about this because like at the end of the day, nobody buys from an ad and is like, oh, thank goodness this is a 3 reasons why ad. Like I better buy. They buy because of what the 3 reasons are, right? They're not like, oh, 3 reasons why ad, click buy. Like, wow, great ad. It's like, no, dude, that's not how people buy. And again, and I made a tweet about this, but it's like when you say it out loud, it sounds so dumb. It's like, obviously people aren't buying because it's a 3 reasons why ad. They're buying because of the actual 3 reasons. So why are you spending more time focusing on the format? Should I do 3 reasons why why or 4 reasons why. It's like, bro, we're not thinking on the same path. And like, if you're wondering like, how does Spencer scale brands so far? I don't get it. Well, it's like, think about what we're thinking. Like, what am I thinking about versus what you're thinking about? Okay. And I'm not saying that like, 'cause I'm definitely not the best, most world-class marketer by any means. But my point is like, you guys are always focusing a lot of the times on the wrong stuff. And that's why I make these videos, like genuinely why I make these videos, because I've done this. Like I've done this over and over and over again. It's stupid. It's like, why are we focusing on things that the end consumer, who is the one actually like clicking it and giving me their money, why aren't I thinking about them first? Because really they're all that matters, right? And it's the reason why like you'll see concepts and formats absolutely murdering for some brands, and then for you it doesn't work, and then you sit there like, oh, it must be Facebook ads must be dead. It's like, no, you just aren't saying anything that people care about, right? And so sometimes like it takes a long time to understand this, but hopefully like I can shortcut this for you. So what I want the takeaway to be from this video, because obviously it's kind of like just a random rant, but like the takeaway should be, hey, if you're not considering, like if you're putting 80% of your time into trying to find the best format or the best concept, what you want to do versus, okay, what's actually in it for the person, like swap that around. It should be 80% about the person and 20% about how you're going to like kind of communicate it and show it to them. Okay. It's 80-20, right? That's why if you ever wonder how sometimes people, you know, they just turn on their phone and they, you know, grab a product or like blah, blah, blah. It's like the ugliest, like stupidest looking ad you've ever seen. And you're like, how is that converting? It's because of what they're saying. It's the angle, right? Like big shout out to Barry Hott. He's a guy that we've chatted with, consulted with. He's an amazing guy, really smart guy. Guy's been marketing for so long. The guy has ads of him with like a toilet seat around his head. And it's like, he's obviously being creative, but his whole thing is make ugly ads. Why? Why does he say make ugly ads? Because it's like, it's more about the messaging and the angle than anything else. Your ads can be hideous, but they can absolutely murder if the angle is good and if what you're saying to the person is actually relevant. And so focus more on that, right? And then you can make your ads pretty and do whatever else you want after. You have to focus on what's in it for the customer. And this has been a result in like the document that we're looking at here, or that you're looking at, is actually a result of like a training that I've been working on for 3 months for, you know, our communities, which obviously I have to gatekeep, at least for now, because, you know, what is in here is a lot of information. And that's why sometimes these videos, it's like, I don't know, I think I was wearing a hat today, which is why my hair's all messed up. I don't even care, because I'm just just trying to keep it real with you guys, okay? Like this training that I put together is just completely shifted the way that I look at how we market. And then on top of that, it's just helped me understand a lot more like how things are being done, right? Because if you don't know why things work and you don't know how things work, it becomes very hard to repeat it. You know what I mean? But once you know why things work or how things work, then all of a sudden you've got a system and you can repeat it. And so that's how we're able to make so many winning ads for brands. And that's how we're able to scale so fast. So, but like it takes time, okay? And so this is just the video that I wanted to make today around like why it's so important to understand the difference between concept, which is like what you want to test, versus angle, which is what's in it for the customer. And you need to shift the amount of time that you spend looking for the next best ad format or the next best concept to test and start focusing on like what it is that you're actually saying, because that matters way more than what you want to test or the format itself. And how do you get that information? Research, Reddit, YouTube, Google, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you want to do. Go and do research, go and learn more about your customers and go and learn more about what you're actually saying and like how you need to say it to them. And I promise you, if you do that, your ads are going to be a lot better. Okay. So I already kind of mentioned, like if you're interested in the communities, I mean, they're linked down below. I'm not going to do a whole spiel because I really need to go to bed. But the point is that you need to focus a lot more on the person who's receiving the ad and what's in it for them versus what you want to do. That's it.